All right, everybody, Reggie Edwards from the Front Report. I am joined by Neal from 3 Days Grace. Man, dude, thanks for giving me a call. This has got to be one of the most exciting times for 3 Days Grace because the new album, Human, is out right now. It came out today.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's a very exciting time for us. You know, we worked really hard on this one, and you know, it's basically 2 years of our lives put onto a record. So, you know, we took a different approach with this album. You know, we were touring and writing the album at the same time, and then coming home and, you know, recording a little bit at a time. So we were really able to take our time and take a step back from it, and really take the time to make it the way we wanted.
Awesome. I feel like you took a bit of a different approach with this one. I mean, the lead single, Painkiller, first off, the first two singles, I Am Machine and Painkiller, already hit number one before the album's even come out. But you released Painkiller about a year before the actual album releases. Was that just one of those things where the album, that song was written so early before anything else was, so you just wanted to release it, or was that something that you kind of really planned out really well?
No, it wasn't really planned, but I mean, you know, we had when Matt joined the band in you know, basically in December of 2012. You know, everything was kind of moving really quickly, and things kind of happened really suddenly for us. So we had a co-headliner with Shinedown already booked, you know, like 5 weeks out, and so, you know, Matt came in and like, you know, his first show with us was in front of 8,000 people, you know, for Shinedown, but at the same time, like, you know, as soon as we started jamming with him, and you know, we've grown up with Matt. He's our bass player's younger brother, obviously, and stuff, and so, you know, as soon as we played that first show, we knew it was like an obvious natural fit, and you know, we're basically on the road with Shinedown, and while we were on the bus, we wrote Painkiller, and like, we basically loved the direction. We loved the direction of the band. We loved the direction of the sound and everything, and so we just decided to go and record the song. And you know, the song turned out great in the studio, and we're like, hey, why don't we just put this on the radio? You know, we're going to be touring anyways. Let's give people a glimpse of what's to come. So we just kind of put it out, and we were out on the road at the same time.
Nice. I mean, you mentioned it. I mean, Matt basically grew up with you guys. You've known him obviously forever. On top of that, I mean, you guys toured for the last 2 years straight with Matt. How much did that contribute to how well this album has turned out? Because I mean, it flows so well. The songwriting's honestly some of the best lyrically written albums you guys have done. How did all that contribute to it?
Well, I mean, you know, we're a really collaborative band. Like, we all write lyrics, melody, music together. We always have, and in fact, like, a lot of people don't know, but you know, Matt has collaborated with the band in the past. In fact, he co-wrote on our first album. As well, yeah. He also co-wrote on Transit of Venus, and obviously he's all over this new one. So, you know, and I've collaborated with him and his bands as well over the years. So we've written in the past together, and then, you know, like, our lyrics are always written about, you know, us going through something, some sort of struggle or something difficult in our lives, and persevering through it, and kind of just talking about the steps to move to a better place, you know, and you know, Matt grew up with us, so, you know, as family, he kind of went through all the same stuff that we did, you know what I mean? So for him to sing our older stuff too, it's kind of natural, because those are all, you know, real life experiences that we all went through as a band and a family, and you know, we just all of the, you know, when we go through struggles or addiction or loss or anything like that, you know, that always ends up on our records. So he's always been at arm's length.
I feel like Human is really reminiscent of the self-titled record, your first record. And I know that you brought back, you know, the producer from that record. How much did that play a role into how this record turned out, and how much it reminds people and will remind people of that first record?
Yeah, it definitely, bringing in Gavin Brown was a huge part of it. It also, you know, he in the beginning really brought out something in us in terms of helping us channel sort of our deep real emotions that you're really feeling, and finding a way to turn those into songs. And that was a very powerful thing, back in the day. And we've always kind of done that, but just he has a way of bringing that out of us in a certain way where the lyrics are so blunt and like straight up that people can relate to it, because we're writing about real things that we go through, but we're regular people that go through the same things as everybody else. So, so there's a deep connection there. And then, one thing that he's always helped us do is not write lyrics, but instead write conversations. Like, what would you actually say to somebody if you're trying to evoke this emotion, or you're trying to just get this off your chest? What words would you actually use to say it to somebody? And so instead of writing some really clever poetic rhyming Bill Shakespeare type thing, how would you actually say it to somebody? And so we always try to write songs that are just sort of direct on how you would actually communicate to a person. And I think 3 Days Grace fans find a connection in that.
Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about this last song that released, which is also the opener for the album, Human Race? To me, it's a really interesting song to start this album. It's got its heavy parts, it's also got its slow parts. It goes really up and down. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite songs in the album. It's because it's not it's kind of against the grain a little bit, and which we always don't shy away from and stuff. So it basically, that song came about. We were on tour. We were on the bus. It was super late. We were drinking wine in the front lounge of the bus. No, we hadn't gone to bed yet, and we were rolling through beautiful Midwest countryside and just talking about life and hanging out, looking out the window and stuff as the day broke, and then all of a sudden we went from that straight into a big downtown core. We had a show that day, so the bus rolled into gridlock rush hour morning traffic, and we're looking out the window and just kind of just looking at people honking at each other and freaking out, giving each other the finger, stuck in traffic, running red lights, and just being shitty to each other. We were just man, where's everybody going? And why is everybody in this race? And why do people need to be in this mad dash to only look after themselves? And don't sometimes I get sick of running in this race, Mm-hmm. And that's how that song was born at 7:30 in the morning on a Tuesday.
And it's just, like I said, it's just such an interesting way to kick the album off. It really took me off guard, kind of, but it fits so well at the same time. It's just so different.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's the album as a whole is really sort of it just talks about the beauty and the horror of everyday human life, and and just and also there's sort of the juxtapositions throughout the record of not feeling human and feeling more like a machine, and feeling more like you're controlled by technology, and you really don't have a grasp on sometimes what it is to just be natural and in the natural world. And there's all this machinery and technology around us, provoking us and confronting us and manipulating our decision making, and so the record as a whole kind of runs through that whole idea.
Yeah, and I mean, it's such a dynamic album, whether it's some of the more beautiful and emotional songs like Tell Me Why or Fallen Angel even. I think I've listened to the song probably 15 times already. It's ridiculous. And then songs like Car Crash or So What. I mean, it's literally a listening journey that you take everybody through when they're listening to it, and whether it's stuff that you guys have gone through or songs written from other people's perspectives, you really put the listener in your shoes.
Well, that's really cool to hear, man, because we really we left nothing on the table for this one, and really dove deep into our own minds, and and we've continued to sort of put into words what we're thinking and feeling, and that's always reflected on the 3 Days Grace record is, just if you have an idea or if there's something about life that's bothering you or whatever, we just like as a band just sit down and talk about it. And like Fallen Angel is one of the most personal songs that I've ever been a part of and stuff. And and it's like we don't take this for granted to hear from the listener what it means to them, or like if there's a song that they can relate back to their life. That's a very powerful thing, and that's one of the beautiful things about music is you can interpret it your own way, and we to see it surface on this level and get to hear from fans what our music means to them is like truly a powerful thing, and it's one of the major reasons why we're doing what we're doing.
And I think that's what's helped you guys go as long as you have, especially over the last 2 years with everything that's happened. Everybody knows about everything that's happened. I mean, to know that the fans can relate that well is really what's made 3 Days Grace such a strong entity in the rock world the last, however long it's been.
Well, I think people are looking for, I don't know, there's a lot of contrived stuff out there. I mean, just look at like reality television and like, singing shows and stuff like that. I think people, a lot of people are looking for something real now more than ever. And, I think that we've always stayed true to ourselves with demonstrating that, we're a real band. Live, we get up there and we, there's not a lot of like, we don't use a lot of bells and whistles and stuff. And we strive to like demonstrate that, it comes from a real place, lyrically, emotionally, musically, all that. And, we'd rather be a little rougher on the edges sometimes or a little brash than try to make something super polished and like, and focus too much energy on like the quote unquote perfection or image or whatever. We'd rather just like make something real that people can, because people are sensitive to that, especially in 2015 when, everyone's, there's so much stuff out there that's just faking it, you know what I mean? And like in all of entertainment and all of life, I guess, in general.
Yeah, man, definitely. One thing that I want to talk to you about is you guys played Lollapalooza. Was it Brazil? Not too long.
Yeah, we just got back yesterday. I just had an epic sleep because I hadn't slept. We red-eyed from Sao Paulo, and we played Lollapalooza in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and then in Brazil just like 2 nights ago.
From the pictures, it looked just insane. What was that festival like, and did that kind of set the tone for the festival season here? Because you guys are going to be playing a lot of the festivals here over the summer after the West Coast tour that kicks off in a couple of weeks or a couple of days.
Yeah, man, it was absolute mayhem. I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's with social media now, like, we're going all over the world, and we, we're going to places that we hadn't been before and getting there, and like there's like 500 fans at the airport. It's like, what is going on? But it's just the power of the internet. It's the music has become borderless. So even just last year we went to Russia. We did like 13 shows in Russia and Belarus and stuff. Never been there before. Never really released an album, and we get there and like the tour was a wild success. So it's pretty crazy to be on the other side of the planet and have people singing all the words to all your songs. But
wow.
Yeah, no. I mean, the festival's great. I was staying down the hall from Robert Plant. Put it that way. That's how ridiculous it was. Pretty, yeah, man. And I actually listen to I listen to quite a bit of electronic music as well. And I got a chance. I actually saw Skrillex in like a small club in Buenos Aires in front of like 200 people or some secret show at like 3 a.m. Just ridiculous stuff like that. And but it was cool. It's nice to be back over here, and we're really excited for the. For the big U.S. festivals. They're some of the best ones, man. It's like you playing in front of 35,000 drunk people in the sun. It's a lot of fun.
It's not quite. It's better than being surrounded by all those drunk people in the sun where we are. So you guys are on the stage. You guys are safe from them.
Yeah. We walk. We like to go and check out the fair and stuff though too, man. It's all fun.
Awesome, man. You guys are doing a West Coast tour that kicks off, I think, next week or in a couple weeks. Then you're doing the U.S. festivals, and then maybe East Coast U.S. tour in the fall, possibly?
Yeah. We're kind of all over the place. We're like, West Coast coming up here shortly, and then we head over to Europe for a few weeks, and then we're kind of just jumping around doing festivals, like a lot of fly-in shows and stuff. But I mean, we're a touring band. That's where our passion lies, is getting up on stage. So, a record came out today, and generally we tour for 2 years on a record. So yeah, we're gonna be all over the place, man.